This
Okay, so today we will discuss about time travel. Okay. Okay, so what is time travel? Time travel is the data protection mechanism in Snowflake. It's a data protection mechanism in Snowflake. Okay. Not only time travel, we have a fail-safe concept also. Like fail-safe is also there. That is also same data protection mechanism in Snowflake. Okay. Now, how basically this time travel works. So generally what happens whenever we do any type of modification on the data level, like it can insert, update, delete, whatever. Whenever we do any type of modification on the data level, Snowflake always keeps the old data safe for you as a time travel data. What does it mean? It means, let's say on the 1st of Feb, you have a sales table and there you have 100 records. On the 1st of Feb, you have a sales table which is having 100 records. Okay. Let's say on the 2nd of Feb, what you did from the sales table, you deleted 30 records. Okay, so right now your table is having 70 records. Okay. Let's say on the 3rd of Feb, what you did, you updated maybe 40 records. So your table will be having 70 records only, right? Now, what you did on the 2nd of Feb, you deleted 30 records. So after that, after deleting these 30 records, if you write here select star from sales, how many record you should receive? 70 records, because you deleted 30 records. So that's the reason you should receive the 70 records from the table. Now this 30 record deleted from the table, but what will happen internally? Snowflake will not delete this 30 record from the storage permanently. Snowflake will keep this 30 records safe in your storage, so that later point of time, if you want to basically restore these records again, or if you want to restore the older versions of the table again, or simple thing, if you want to roll back these changes, you can do that. So that's the reason what it will do. These 30 records or maybe these 40 records, whatever records you have updated in the table, now that 40 records, before updating the whatever the old value was there, those record will be there in your storage safe for some certain period of time, not for the lifelong. Some certain period of time, these records will be there in your storage safe, so that anytime whenever you want, you can go back and you can go back to history and you can retrieve those records, go to the live. And that is the reason these records will not be deleted from your storage permanently. These records will be there in your storage for some certain period of time, and that is what we call time travel period. As we know, for permanent object, this time travel period maximum can be 90 days. For transient object, it can be 1 day, and for temporary object also it can be 1 day. We already discussed, right? So if the sales table's time travel period is 90 days, then what will happen? Whatever changes you made on the 2nd of Feb, from 2nd of Feb till 90 days, these records will be safe in your storage, these 30 records. Similarly, whatever changes you made on the 3rd of Feb, that will be there in your database till 90 days. from the day you made the changes, like that. If the sales tables time travel period, let's say, because this time travel period is modifiable, this time travel period can be modified. It can be making it 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. 90 is the maximum supported period. Let's say sales tables time travel period you have set up till 10 days. Then what will happen? From 2nd of Feb till 10 days, this record will be safe in your storage. From 3rd of Feb till 10 days, this old records will be safe in your storage as a time travel data. Anytime, if you want, you can take that data and you can restore these versions of the table back, or maybe these versions of the table back. That means if you want to roll back these changes, that means you will be getting these versions of the table. If you want to roll back these changes, you will be getting these versions of the table, right? So how long you can do this rollback, or how long you can restore these versions? Till the time travel period expires. Whenever this 10 days, 90 days, whatever you have set up, the whatever time travel period you have set up for the table, whenever that time travel period is expires, then this record, that means the deleted 30 records, updated old 40 records, these records will be moved to failsafe zone and it will be there for 7 days. And this is only for the permanent object. For transient object and temporary object, this 1 day is last. That means if the sales table is the transient table, then whatever changes you made on the 2nd of Feb, that changes will be there. That means these 30 records will be there in your storage only for the 1 day from 2nd of Feb. Similarly, whatever changes you made on the 3rd of Feb, that will be there in the only 1 day in the storage. And once this 1 day is over, that means your changes lost. That means you cannot roll back this changes again, or you cannot roll back these changes again. Simple thing. So because this does not have the failsafe period implemented. For permanent object, once the time travel period expires, then the data, then this changed record will be moved to the failsafe zone and it will be there for 7 days. So you have more 7 days time to get those data back if the time travel period expires also. But for the transient object, you have only 1 day time travel period, and once this 1 day is over, then these records is lost forever. So that means whatever 30 records you deleted from the storage, that record will be deleted from your storage permanently after 1 day. That means you cannot get those data back anymore. So that is the way the time travel and failsafe works. Okay. So basically, for time travel period, basically for permanent object, this time travel period is 90 days maximum. But if you want, you can modify that one as well. Like if you want to change it, let's say I don't want to hold the data for longer time. Let's say I don't want to hold this data for longer time. I want only for 10 days time travel period. So I can set up. That's not an issue. I can set up, because if your time travel period is basically high, that means if you have selected a huge time travel period, in that case you have to remember your storage cost also will be increased, because these records will be there in your storage for longer time. The deleted record, updated record, that means old record will be there in your storage for longer time. So that is the reason this time travel period, if the shorter time travel period you are using, your storage cost will be low. If your higher time travel period you are using, your storage cost also will be increased, right? So that's the reason. So every project is maintaining some standard. So like whatever time travel period your project is selecting, according to that you have to select for your table, database and schema. Okay. So I'll show you how to set up the time travel period here. So let me check. For an example, let's say I want to create a database. So what I'm doing here, I'm writing create or replace database name. So let's create the database. So database got created. Once the database gets created, if I write here, let's say show databases, like, so you can see this is the time travel DB database, and if you go on the right side, you have a column called retention time. By default, every object's time travel period will be set up to 1. Time travel period can be set up for database, schema, and table. No other objects. Okay, database, schema, and table level. Retention time is set to 1. Now, if you want, you can modify that one. How? We will write alter. Okay, before doing that, I will create the schema as well. So let me create the schema. And if you write here, show schemas, if you write here show schemas, then if you execute it, you can see all the 3 schema will be visible. And for those schema also, the retention period is set to 1. Okay. Now what I am doing, so let me refresh here. This is the time travel DB and all these schemas are available. Now let's say I want to modify the database's time travel period. So what I will do, I will write alter database alter database name set one parameter value. Parameter is there in your Snowflake. So parameter name is data retention time in days. This parameter value you have to set up. Let's say I set up this parameter value to 25. So whenever I will set up the parameter value to 25, so that means this database time travel period is set to 25. This is the parameter. This parameter value you have to set up. Now let's say if I execute show databases like this one, and if you go on the right side, you can see the retention time became 25. And whenever the database retention time is 25, schema will be automatically inheriting the database time travel period. So you can see all the schemas, retention time became 25. Earlier it was 1, now it became 125. Now schema level changes also you can do. Let's say I want to change the schema's time travel period. I can write here alter schema. Let's say this is the schema. Let's say I'm taking this schema. Set data retention time in days. Let's say I am making it 15. Okay, so let's execute. Whenever I did that, let's say after that, if I check the database time travel period, you can see database time travel period is 25. But if you check the schema's time travel period, now schema's time travel period became 15. Okay, this one 15, this one 25, like that. You can see now if you create any table inside this schema, that table's time travel period will be 15 by default. If you create any table inside this schema, that table's time travel period will be 25 by default, because table will be inheriting schema's time travel period, schema will be inheriting database's time travel period. Now you can change the individual level also. For an example, if I am, let's say inside this schema itself, this schema, I am creating one table and I have mentioned here data retention time in days is equal to 90. So if I execute this, after that, if I write that show tables, you can see here data retention time in days, that means retention time is now 90. If you want to change the table level time travel period, then also you have to write the simple statements, alter table name, set data retention time in days. So if you execute this one, let's say I want to make it 30. So I executed this one and now you can check it, show tables. So your data retention time in days is became 30. Okay. So like that. So individual level you can check, you can change, but as a standard, we will keep all the same, like database, schema, table, all we will keep as a same time travel period here. Okay. Now this is the way basically you can set up the time travel period. for a table, for a schema, for a database. Now, how will you fetch the data from the time travel period? That you need to check. There are three options by which we can fetch the data from the time travel period. What are all the object? First one, three way we have that. By that three way we can fetch the historical data. So time travel is the data protection mechanism which helps us to retrieve the historical data from the old past. That is what the time travel period do. So there are three way by which you can fetch the history of the table, database and schema. What are all the features? First one is the timestamp. You can do it with the timestamp. You can do it with the offset. You can do it with the statement. Now, what are all the three things that we will discuss now? And also with the timestamp, we can use before clause and at clause. Similarly, with offset also you can use before clause and at clause. Similarly, with statement also you can use before clause and at clause. What does it mean? For an example, let's say at 8 o'clock, you had a sales table and there you had 100 records. At 8:15, what you did in the sales table, you deleted 30 records. So your table became, right now your table is having 70 records. Okay. So at 8 o'clock, you had 100 records. Now at 8:15, you deleted some 30 records from the table. And right now it got 870 records. Okay. Fine. Now let's say whatever changes I made that I want to roll back, or basically what I want to do is basically I want to get these versions of the table back. Let's say this is the version 1 of the table. If I think this is the version 2 of the table, let's say I want to get these versions of the table back. This is the historical version. This is the right now current version. Now I want this historical version back to live. What I can do, I will write here before and with the bracket I will write 8:15. Here I am not writing the entire timestamp. I will show you with the example, but here just for understanding, if I execute this statement, let's say select, I will be writing this type of statement like select star from sales and with this before 8:15 clause. If I execute this statement, what it will give you? So this is the timestamp. Entire timestamp you have to mention here. I'm just mentioning some specific time here. And before clause you have to write. So before 8:15. So that means before at 8:15 basically you made the changes. So before 8:15 if I write, I will be definitely getting these versions of the table back. Why? Because before 8:15 I had 100 records in the table. So I will be retrieving the 100 records. At the same time, if I write this query with the at clause, let's say if we write instead of before, if I write at clause will give you exactly at 8:15 what happened. At clause will give you exactly at 8:15 what happened. Exactly at 8:15, 30 records deleted and the table got 70 records. So that's the reason here it will show you 70 records. Okay. So at is giving you exactly that point of time, whatever you have mentioned here, exactly that point of time, what happened to your database, to your schema, to your table. Either you deleted some record or you updated some record or you inserted some record, whatever you did at that point of time, how many records are there in the table, that will be retrieved. But before will give you before that point of time how many record was there, that will be retrieved. So basically this is the way we retrieve the data from the time travel zone. Okay. So before and at we will be using with the timestamp features. Similarly, you can use this before and at with the offset features. Okay. So offset features is nothing but like it's a kind of let's say you didn't track the proper timestamp in your table. You don't know when you made these changes. You don't know all those things. So in that cases, basically you can go with the offset. Offset is nothing but, let's say, 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, like that. I don't have proper timestamp maintained. Offset is nothing but, like, let's say I want to get the table back, which was there like 30 minutes ago. Okay, I want to get the table back which was there 40 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, 1 hour ago, 2 hour ago. So that is the way, that is the basically proper timestamp is not there. I want last one, I basically specifically I want for last 1 hour, whatever changes we have made in the table, all will be eliminated, all will be rolled back, and before 1 hour, whatever the table was there, that I want to restore. So that is what the offset we will be using. Okay, like that. So if you have not made any generally, if you have not properly tracked the timestamp, then you can use the offset also. Okay, and remember one thing. Let's say let's say at 8:30, you have a sales table, and there what you did, you, let's say, you updated some record. Okay, updated some record, maybe at 8:45 from the sales table. Let's say you inserted you inserted 10 records. Okay, now whenever I will write before 8:15, that means I want to get these versions of the table back. Let's say if I think it as a version 3, if I think it as a version 4, let's say at 8 o'clock, before 8:15 means, this 100 records I will be, that means these versions of the table will be restored. So that means after 8 o'clock, whatever changes, that means from 8 o'clock or 8:15 onwards, whatever changes I made in the table from here, if you think, this all changes will be eliminated and you will be getting these versions of the table back. Okay, instead of 8:15, if I write here before 8:30, so that means from this onwards, before 8:30 means I will be getting 70 records back, because these versions of the table I will get back, because before 8:30 I had these versions of the table. That means I will be getting here 70 records back. So that means from 8:30 onwards, whatever changes I made on the table, all will be rolled back or all will be eliminated. So from this point of time, the table will be restored. So this is how this time travel works. Okay, so let's go to practical and see how it works. So first I will change our sessions time zone is equal to UTC, because this is a time related activity, and Snowflake, wherever the time related things are there, Snowflake basically, in case of time travel, Snowflake follows the UTC time zones data, to be in a same page. Okay, so that's the reason what we need to do. We need to set up the sessions time zone to UTC. And if you want to check the time zone, you can write here show parameters like time zone. So basically you can see right now the value is UTC time zone. Okay, and okay, fine. So right now if you check your table, you can see, if you check your table, select star from employees, right now no records are there in this table. Okay, now I will check my, okay, I will insert some value into the table. Let's say I'm inserting some value into the table. Let's insert. Let's say I inserted some value into the table. 4 records gets inserted into the table. Okay, fine. 4 records inserted. Now let's say I want to, so I will write here employees table with 0 record. This was the version 1 of the table. After that, employees table with 4 records. This is the version 2 of the table, right? Now, if you check your data from the table, how many records are there? 4 records are there. Okay, fine. I will check the timestamp right now. So you can see this is the timestamp. I will copy the timestamp from here and I will paste it here. You can see what I'm doing. I'm writing select star from employees. With that, I'm writing before, and here timestamp we have mentioned, and I'm executing, and I will execute 1 minute ago. So right now it is 128. I'm just giving 127 1 minute ago. So now you can see no records are there. So right now, if you check the data from the table, if you check here data from the table, select star from employees. So you can see 4 records are there in the table. Actually, in your table, you have 4 records. But whenever you are executing this query, that 4 records is not there. That means before this point of time, you didn't had 4 records in your table. So that means this record gets eliminated. This changes gets eliminated. So by using this query, if you write the query, you can see no records in the table. Okay. Let's say for an example, I'm inserting couple of more records. Let's say I'm inserting couple of more records. Let's say I'm making it 5. Let's say I'm making it 6, making it 7. Okay. And that will be the version. Okay, so right now the table will be having 7 record, and that will be having version 3. So let's insert this record into the table. So 3 record inserted. If you check your table data right now, how many records are there? Let's see. Total 7 records are there. Okay. Now I did not track the timestamp in the table, so that's the reason I'm checking the system timestamp always. So you can insert the proper timestamp in your table by using the timestamp current timestamp option by using this one. So now let's say 120, 130, I'm making it 129. So 1 minute back. So if you check this, you can see right now your table is, so basically how many records are there in your table? Total 7 records right now. Whenever I'm using 129 time, so before 129, the table was having 4 records. So this changes, whatever 3 records I inserted here, that is got eliminated. If I write here 127, sorry, if I write here 127 and if I execute, you can see these 4 records also eliminated, and you get these versions of the table back. Simple thing. If I write 129, sorry, 129, your last changes eliminated. So 4 records are there. These changes got eliminated. 4 records are there. This version of the table received. Now if I make 127, now you can see that 4 records also eliminated, and you get these versions of the table back. So this is what we call time travel features. Now you can see by using timestamp, you are able to retrieve the older versions of the table back. That means you are restoring some point of time. From some point of time, you are restoring your old tables. Now, whatever you are getting here, that is actually you are getting in a query results. It is not stored anywhere. Now, if you want to store it anywhere, so let's say if you want to store, let's say last changes you want to roll back. That means these changes you want to eliminate and you want to get these versions of the table back. So you use this query and you get this data back. And now after that, you can store this data to some other table. You can write here, insert into, or you can create a table like that you can do. Okay. And you can store this record, whatever record is retrieving by this query, that you can store into the some other table, and you can use that table going forward as a restored data. So this is one way to fetch, that is called timestamp. Okay. Now the same way I will be doing it with the offset. So what does it mean by offset? Offset is nothing but, let's say, for an example, let's say right now how many records are there in the table. So you can check, select star from employees, total 7 records. Okay. Now let's say before offset, here you have to mention the figure in seconds. Figure in seconds. What does it mean? Let's say if I write here 300, or here you can see 360. 60 multiplied by 6 means 360. If I write here 360, that means that doesn't mean it will take you 360 minutes back. It will take you 6 minutes back, because whatever figure you will write here, that you will write in a basically seconds format. Okay, whatever figure you will write here, that you will write in a seconds format. Okay, so 60 multiplied by 6 means that is 6 minutes ago. I want to go 6 minutes ago. So you can write directly the calculated figure also, but if you write in this way, it will be able to understand. That means it will be easy for developer to understand. 60 seconds, 1 minute. So 60 multiplied by 6 means that is 6 minutes. So if I want to go 6 minutes back, you can see I had 4 records, right? Let's say if I want to go 3 minutes back, I had 7 records. So right, 3 minutes from now onwards, 3 minutes back, I had 7 records. That's fine. Now from now onwards, 7 minutes ago, I had 4 records. That's fine. From now onwards, 8 minutes ago, I had no records in the table. Okay. So this is the way, by using offset, you can find the older version of the table. Okay. So basically this offset can be utilized whenever you don't have proper timestamp tracked. Okay. So if you have properly timestamp track in your table, like when it is happening, when these changes happen, when this insert happen, when this update happen, then easily by using the timestamp you can fetch it. Okay. Now let's say I want to delete some record into the table. I can do, let's say, delete from or let's say I want to update. So how many records are there right now in the table? Let's say total these records are there, and you can see for 1, 2, 3, I want to update the salary 10,000 plus. So, or maybe let's say for 1, 2, 3 employee ID, I will update the salary to 30,000. That is what I'll do. Okay, so what I'll do here, I will write update employees set salary is equal to 30,000, where employee ID in sorry. So let's say 3 records got updated. Now once the 3 record got updated, that means right now if you check your table, you can see for 1, 2, 3, 30,000 got updated. Now let's say whatever changes you made, I just wanted to, right now you made the changes, I just wanted to go 1 minute back. I just wanted to go 1 minute back. So if I execute, now you can see here it is not 30,000 for all these 3 records, right? You can see it is 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, like that. So that means you can eliminated these changes. Whatever changes you made on the by using that update, if you take 1 minute ago, so you have eliminated that changes, right? But if you go 2 minutes back, the same records are available, right? So by using this offset, you can change. Now while updating, if you have tracked the timestamp, then you can use that timestamp for this one here also, and you can find out that old version of the table. That also you can do. If you didn't have the properly track the timestamp, then generally what you have to do, you have to find out the older version, or simple word you can say, you have to restore the older version of the table by using the offset. Okay. Just a minute, guys. Fine. So this is the way we do with the offset. Now at the same time, we can do it with the statement level also. What does mean by statement? Let's say I will be deleting some record. Instead of insert, let me delete some record. So right now, how many records are there in the table? Total 7 records. Okay. Now what I will delete? I will delete, let's say delete from employees, where let's say I want to delete this 3 record. So let's delete it. Once I deleted the 3 record, now your table, how many records are there? Total 4 records. 3 records got deleted, right? 3 records got deleted. Now, let's say I know this delete statement has wrongly executed. I know whatever record has been deleted by using this delete statement, that should be rollback, or that I want to eliminate. What I can do, I can go to the query history. This is the delete statement. I will go into this statement. You can see this is the delete statement. I will copy the query ID of this delete statement. I'll go to the project. I'll go to the SQL. And I will write select star from employees before statement level. And here you have to pass the query ID which you have copied. Okay. And now if you execute this, so before this deletion, whenever I deleted this record, before this deletion, I had seven records in the table. So that is what I am doing before this deletion. This is the query ID of this delete statement. Before this deletion, how many record was there in the table? You can see 7 records. But if I use this same query ID with the at, now at this point of time, your data got deleted. So that means at, understand properly, before this delete, I had 7 records in the table. At this delete, I have only 4 records in the table, because whenever this delete statement executed, 3 records got deleted. And that's the reason whenever I will use the at with this statement, I will be getting only 4 records. Because at that time, the 3 records deleted and only 4 record was there in the table. That's the reason I will be getting only 4 records. But whenever I will use with the before statement, I will get before executing this statement what was there in the table. Before executing this statement in the table, we had 7 records. So that's the 7 record is retrieving here. Okay. So whenever I executed this thing, whatever changes I made through the delete statement, that is rollback, or that is eliminated, right? Whatever changes I made through the delete statement, that has been rolled back. Okay. Now, this is the way basically 3 possibilities are there. One is by statement, you can restore. Another one is by offset, you can restore. Another one is by timestamp, you can restore. With timestamp, you can use before at. With offset also, you can use before at. And with statement also, you can use before at. Okay. Now, whenever we are using this before at option with this three type of, or 3 way, basically Snowflake is providing you the 3 option. One is timestamp option, one is offset option, one is statement option. Whatever is suitable for your situation or project, you can use. If you have properly maintaining the timestamp, then you can use timestamp. If you have not maintained the timestamp and you just wanted to go last, but then let's say for an example, you just wanted to eliminate all the changes whatever you made for last 1 hour, last 2 hour, you can go with that offset option. Now in the offset, like it is 2 minutes ago, now let's say I want to go 1 hour ago, so what I can do, 60 multiply by 60, right? That is 1 hour. If I want to go 2 hours ago, so 60 multiply by 60, that means multiply by 2. So that is 2 hours ago, like that, right? So this is the way basically it is executed. Similarly, in case of statement also, you can mention if that particular query, if that particular statement, whatever record you deleted, updated, inserted, if that particular insert, update, delete statements is available in your query history, because query history maximum stores the record for 14 days. Like if you go to the query history, here always you will be seeing history available only for the queries run for in the last 14 days, because this query history will always contain your last 14 days record. Okay. Now, if you have that particular query which you have basically made changes and that is available in your query history, you can find out the particular basically query ID and you can use the statement level. So, and you can eliminate the changes that you can do. Okay. Now, this is the way basically you can fetch or you can restore the data through the time travel period. Now, whatever I have shown you here, that was completely query returned. Now, let's say you want to create a table based on this record, because right now in your table, you have total 4 records. Okay. But if you want to eliminate these changes, that means you have used before statement and right now you are fetching 7 records. But this 7 record is returning by the query. It is not stored anywhere. So what you can do, you can create a clone copy on top of this combination of options. So let's say create or replace table, restore table, clone employees. So this is a clone features. Till now our clone class is not completed. So I will show you that in a clone class. Basically what I told you, let's say you are based on this query, you are creating a table. Let's say create table T1 as, like that we do, right? Create table T1 as this one. So if I write this statement, if I execute this statement, then one T1 table will be created and that table will be containing the record which is returned by this query. Now, by this query, it will be returning only 4 records and that 4 records will be stored into the T1 table. So right now employees table will be having 7 records, but last 3 records you deleted, that will be roll back. Sorry, the right now your employee table will be having 4 record, and whatever 3 records you deleted, that means total 7 records will come into this T1 table. That is what it will happen. So whatever you are returning by this statement, that record will be stored as a T1 table. That is what we do. But same thing we can achieve by using this clone features also. So create or replace table name, clone employees. It will be creating a clone copy of the employees, but not entirely employees record will be cloned. Only the condition which is satisfying, only the data which is satisfying this condition will be stored here. So generally we don't create the table by this way, because this is the data copy. What is the difference between these two? I will tell you in the clone class. We generally follow these clone features. Okay. And this cloning not only for the table level, you can create the clone of the database level also and schema level also. You can see. You can create the clone of the database level also and schema level also. And here one example I have shown you, like whenever I am creating the database cloning, I used statement. Whenever I am creating the schema level cloning, I am using offset. And whenever I am creating the table level cloning, I am using timestamp. But that doesn't mean that timestamp cannot be used with schema and database. Anything, anywhere can be used. Whenever you are creating the data, table backup, you can use the timestamp, you can use the offset, you can use the statement. Similarly, same for the schema, same for the database also. Now this one is the actually we are creating the database backup which is satisfying this condition. Here we are creating the schema restored which is satisfying this condition. So that means last 1 hour, whatever changes I made in this schema level, all will be rolled back. Okay, last 1 hour, whatever changes I made on the schema level, all will be rolled back. That is how it works. Okay, so this way basically you can create the backup of the table, schema, and database. Okay, so whenever I will show you the clone features, then you can practice this part. So as of now, you just leave this part. For an example, as of now, you just leave this part and remaining you can practice. And you just leave this part and remaining you can practice. Okay. And whenever I will tell you what is the difference between normal cloning, or what is the difference between cloning and normal table creation, then you will be able to handle this thing. Okay, so as of now, if you want, you can ignore it and only practice how to fetch the data from the history. And not only the data level changes, let's say you want to drop a table, you have dropped a table. Let's say I have dropped a database or dropped a schema or dropped a table, anything. So let's say I drop the database. So that means the database entirely got dropped, right? You can see your time travel database is not there. Now you can easily undrop that one also. Like you can write the undrop database statement. Until and unless the time travel period is there, you can undrop the entire database. Let's say undrop database name. So whenever I will write undrop statement, basically what will happen? The database will be restored and all the table as it is will be restored. In the schema, whatever tables are there as it is, it will be restored. Okay. So this is how your time travel works. Clear? Any doubt, any question? And remember one thing, once the time travel period is expired and the data moved to failsafe zone, then if you want to get the data back from failsafe, basically you have to take the help of Snowflake support team because failsafe zone is beyond our scope. We users can't access the failsafe data. We can get the data until and unless the time travel period is there. Once the time travel period is expired, then this data moves to failsafe zone, and from failsafe zone you cannot restore your data. If you want to restore your data from failsafe zone, you have to connect with the Snowflake support team. Clear? Any doubt, any question? Okay. So that's all for today's session. We'll join again on Monday US time, Tuesday IST time. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
The meeting has ended. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.